anxiety turned into depression like that. And that scared me, so bad. Like, I had never felt anything like that before, and I don't want anyone to ever feel that way. Emotionally, I didn't feel anything. Like, it was just weird. It was just numb. That's all I can say. Fried foods should be cut or reduced. Sugar and processed foods, cut and reduced. So sugar is very addictive. It's a drug. It's 10 times more addictive than cocaine. I don't know if you knew that. Fitness is a form of therapy. I always joke and say I feel like the people who are the most consistent in the gym have the toughest demons to fight. Rest is a necessity for productivity. Rest is a necessity. It's not a luxury. You resting will make you more productive.
A fitness trainer and a corporate wellness coach. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome back to the show, Ruby Sechele. What's good?
Hi.
How you doing? What is up, everybody? Welcome to Deep Dive Sessions. My name is Motara. Thank you for stopping by and giving us your most valuable asset, your time. Welcome to Deep Dive Sessions. Our goal with the show is to bring you and I in proximity to the people and ideas that will show us that it is possible and it can be done, and eventually help us achieve on our dreams and on our goals. Today, we have a special guest coming back to the show for the second time, a fitness trainer and a corporate wellness coach. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome back to the show, Ruby Sechele. What's good?
Hi.
Yes. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good to
Actually,
see you.
I'm great.
You're
I'm
great.
Yeah.
Yes. Good thing you changed that. Hey.
Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah. So it's been 3 years.
Has it been 3 years?
Yeah, it's been 3 years. Actually.
3?
Actually, 3 years and some change since we last met.
Wow.
And there's so much that's been going on. So first of all, just tell people who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, as you said, I'm Ruby. I am a fitness coach, and I am a holistic corporate wellness coach. Yes.
Holistic corporate wellness coach.
Yeah.
All right. So let's start this on a lighter note. Eh?
Okay.
I have a few things written here.
And then we're
a
going
few
deeper.
rapid questions, and then we can get to the meat. Eh?
Okay.
All right. Calisthenics versus training weights.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Versus?
one? Training weights. Training with weights. Yeah. What is your preference?
Well, I'm biased because I love weights. I'm addicted to weights. So I've
it's
never
weights.
actually tried calisthenics. So
Ever?
no, I'd probably break something. No.
All right. Soup or salad?
So what?
Soup or salad?
Soup?
Yeah, soup or salad. What is your preference?
Soup or salad?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like soup. Would you rather have soup or would you rather have salad? If you had to choose between these two.
Oh, okay. I don't eat grass, so soup. Yeah, I would never.
Wow.
You'll never find me ordering.
Everybody
salads.
watching this that has salad is going crazy. We're going to have keyboard warriors. All right, so the last one is, would you rather have a home-cooked meal or eat out?
Who's cooking the meal at home? Me?
Probably you.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, if we're talking health-wise, if I'm like shredding for the summer, then I would say home cooked. But if we're saying any other time,
Generally.
Oh,
Just
generally,
would you rather have a home-cooked meal?
I'd say home cooked because that's honestly the best way to stay in shape. If you go from eating out to home cooked meals, you've already conquered step one into getting into shape. So I do a lot of eating at home. Yeah.
All right. So holistic corporate wellness coach. Break that down for us. What do you do for your clients and what it is that you do?
Okay, so the holistic part of it is that I incorporate multiple areas. So as opposed to like the traditional corporate wellness coaching or programming, usually it's just one area that's being attacked. So it's usually like fitness, health, and that's it. Whereas I encompass the fitness, the mental, and the nutrition, because I feel like in order to really be your best self, you need to tackle all three of those areas. So in doing that, you're becoming a better person, and then a better team player, and then eventually it becomes a better organization. So yeah, that's
Mental nutrition and fitness.
yeah.
Okay, talk to me about that. How do you rank them, and what do you start with? Does it vary per client, or?
It varies per client in terms of specificity. Specificity, that word, yeah.
Yes.
In terms of customization.
Yes.
But all in all, those three, I can't even rank them because to me, all of them, they're on the same level of importance. So if one is lacking, everything is lacking. So, yeah.
So let's talk about nutrition, because I think this is where, they say 80% of just having a good body is what you eat more than what you do exercising. You can fact check me on that. What is it that you promote in terms of nutrition? And somebody that's listening to us right now and they want to take charge of their life in general, because this is holistic.
Yeah.
What are the steps you take people through?
Okay, so your first question was, what was it? You were saying that nutrition is 80%.
Yeah,
important.
80% what you eat. Agri nutrition is what you eat. So the 80% rule is 80% of just looking good.
Yeah.
And having a good aesthetic
like
body.
a physique, yeah.
Physique is 80% nutrition and then 20% exercise.
I mean, yeah, that's what they say, and I think I could attest to that. For me, I feel that nutrition is what you're feeding your body. And then there's also, so as I said, there's the mental, there's a physical, there's a nutrition. So each one of these are feeding the others. So with nutrition, you're feeding your body. And then whatever you feed your body will feed your mind. And whatever you feed your mind will feed your body. So in that way, everything is interconnected. So with nutrition, I usually just advise that people, I'll just be straight to the point and say that fried foods should be cut or reduced. Sugar and processed foods, cut and reduced. Alcohol, cut and reduced. I usually just keep it to those three because anything else, people are going to be like, oh, it's too much. But if you can just do those three.
What are the benefits?
The benefits of cutting them out?
Especially with sugar, because it's actually a growing thing. Even my feed is full of people talking about sugar. And
sugar is a drug. Literally, sugar is a drug. There's a natural sugar, but majority of the sugar that we're getting from like the stores, the shops, it's bad. It's processed. It's bad, especially white sugar. And I realize I don't know if this is like an African thing or a Southern African thing, but Africans like white sugar and white bread and white rice. That is processed. That is not, when you see it being white as opposed to the grain or the brown bread or the brown rice, it means it has been processed. So all the nutrients are now not present. You're just getting like a commercial nice taste, but it's processed and all the nutrients are gone. So with processed, and then sugar. So sugar is very addictive. It's a drug. It's 10 times more addictive than cocaine. I don't know if you knew that.
10 times more addictive than cocaine.
That's why a lot of people, if you ask them, what is harder to stop, carbs or sugar? They'll say sugar. When you're sad, what do you like to eat? Sugar. So it's very addictive. It's very harmful. It's the first thing that gets turned into fat, especially tummy fat, belly fat, inflammation. It's just bad.
Talk to me about the natural sugar. Where do we find it? What is it?
Sugarcane, honey, things like that. Yeah.
But
from the
like
ground.
Sugarcane is, we don't get to see it every day.
True.
But honey, we get to interact with it.
Is very good.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of bees. I think not bees, but like honey farms in Botswana, actually. So yeah, honey is the best.
So cut out sugar at all, even the brown sugar.
If possible, yeah.
What about the brown one?
It's better, but honestly, just sugar in general, you want to cut that. Yeah, you want to stick to the honey and the unartificial sweeteners.
Okay, so let's go to the mental. you've been open about your mental health journey and what happened. Could you just walk us through that, the beginning till now?
Okay. I'll try to cut the very long story short.
Yeah.
In short, I was experiencing mental health. I didn't know it, and I was in denial about it.
Mental health sickness or just mental?
Anxiety before depression, but anxiety. And I was in denial about it for a number of years. And I was in and out of hospitals, clinics. There was a year.
Sorry to cut you. Can you just like explain it when you say anxiety? Like, how were you feeling? What were you going through on a day-to-day?
Heart palpitation, shortness of breath, trouble sleeping, fear of sleeping because I literally thought I would not wake up. What else? Just fatigue. Oh, that was the big one. Like, not just fatigue, like I worked a long day, I'm tired. Like, I would sleep for 3 days and still feel like I've been working for a week without sleep. Like, the fatigue was crazy. So, with the mental health, I was in denial about it. I don't know if you read my LinkedIn article about it, but in that article, I said that the denial turned to decay because I was literally like decaying. Like it was really bad. So that's why
What made you unsure about it? Like,
I just wasn't really
paying attention to what's going on?
Paying attention, but also just, in African families, you're not really taught about these things. You're usually told it's like, oh, pray about it, it's spiritual, or things like that. So, but with mental health, it manifests physically, and you need physical solutions. And it stems from the mental, so you need mental solutions. So with me, I was just, because I was never really taught about it, that it was a serious thing, I just thought, I used to tell the doctors, like, just give me a pill so I can do my thing, go about life. And the pills that they gave me, I was afraid to take.
Why?
Because I didn't want to get hooked on them. Antidepressants are very addictive as well. And I don't know, have you heard of Valium and like Xanax and things like that?
I think Xanax I've heard about.
Yeah. Those are very strong antidepressants, and a lot of people get addicted and become dependent. So I didn't want that. So I had to come up with a natural way. I had to get to the root of the issue, and that's basically what helped me.
If you don't mind me asking, how were you able to get to that, and what did you identify as the root of that?
Okay, so I won't go into what I identified as the issue necessarily, but I will say that a lot of it was really not taking inventory of my thoughts and emotions. Your brain is constantly taking in data, whether you know it or not.
For sure.
So it was just me allowing so much negative input and not realizing how it was affecting me and my emotions and my thoughts.
Negative input in terms of what you're seeing on social media, your thought process?
Yeah, social media.
Just allowing thoughts to just, spiral out of control?
Yeah, so social media, even people in my circle, because the data that you're taking in mentally, some of it is direct, some of it is subconscious. So, yeah, it was just not taking inventory. But once I started taking inventory and really getting to like the root of the problem, that's when I was able to really heal what was going on. And the physical like manifestations, they went away without pills. So
you started what, journaling?
No, I didn't.
Meditation,
really.
What was it?
So there was therapy that really helped. There was also just being open about what was going on, because hiding it too was a problem. Like
Being open to who?
a close friend of mine as well as a close family member.
So what are you telling them? I'm battling this. I'm struggling here. 1, 2, 3.
Just feelings, just whatever I felt like I needed to get off my chest. Yeah.
Do you feel like you were holding a lot in without
Yes.
saying it out? And so you started...
Trying to look strong.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And therapy, how did therapy help you?
Guys, therapy is amazing. Therapy, I used to walk around with like just this heaviness. The first session of therapy, mind you, therapy only started because the anxiety turned into depression like that.
How do you know?
Not like this as in 5 days.
Yeah, but
it
quickly.
took 4 years and then it happened in one day. And that scared me so bad. Like I had never felt anything like that before. And I don't want anyone to ever feel that way.
Walk us through that moment. What was it like?
Through the depressive moment, I can't even tell you what it was like. It was literally nothing.
Like what happened? You shut down?
No, it was literally like nothing. I couldn't feel anything. Emotionally, I didn't feel anything. Like it was just weird. It was just numb. That's all I can say. And mind you, it was a summer day. The sun was out, but there was like a cloud, like a dark, it was crazy. So that's really why I do what I do, because I wouldn't wish that feeling upon my worst enemy. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So, yeah.
What would you have done differently in the journey?
In terms of?
In terms of looking back right now, what do you think you could have done to...
I would have done therapy sooner.
Yeah.
Definitely would have done therapy sooner.
So therapy was you just telling the therapist, I'm going through 1, 2, 3, and then they direct you to...
The therapist really just reads your mail. Like she just, or he just tells you things about yourself that you can connect with, but you didn't know. But once you hear it, it's like a light bulb. It's like, yeah.
So you're the one coming up with the solution, but you
basically,
gave it to them.
but they're just like channeling it. Yeah. Oh, therapists are amazing. Guys, go to therapy, please. Go to therapy. Men, women, go to therapy. Don't let whatever you may have an idea is going on build up and become a bigger thing. Like, go to therapy from the onset. Once you just feel like, okay, this is kind of disturbing me, go to therapy.
Interesting. And so right now, what do you take people through? What is the process that you take people through when they come to you and you realize that this person wants a toned body, but their mind is not right?
Well, fitness is a form of therapy for some. I always joke and say I feel like the people who are the most consistent in the gym have the toughest demons to fight. So I usually, when it comes to like my private side of work, not my corporate clientele, I usually just use the fitness and the nutritional aspect as therapy because those are two areas that a lot of people have trouble overcoming. So as I help them overcome that, they usually discover like a new side of themselves, and then it kind of trickles into other aspects of their lives. So, yeah.
So you help them. Like what do you do with their minds? Like is there a mindset that you instill into them?
The mindset comes literally by just overcoming the physical and the nutritional. Because for a lot of people, what's stopping them from eating the way they know they should and exercising the way they know they should is fear, doubt, procrastination. So when they come to me, those are a few of the things that they are able to overcome by virtue of being a part of the program. Yeah.
Walk us through your meals,
My meals.
breakfast to supper. What are you having?
Breakfast. Can I not do this? Because honestly, my eating is very boring.
Now we want to know. You're the coach. We want to know.
Because I don't want people to think like, oh, dang, that's how Ruby eats. Now I have to eat like that.
No, not really, but just what a sample looks like, so we understand and put it into perspective.
Okay. Breakfast, oatmeal, literally every day, to the point where it makes me like nauseous.
I've
I
heard
need to
about
stop.
oatmeal a lot.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of successful people talk about oatmeal. Mm-hmm. What does it do?
Oatmeal, it's a low GI food.
What does GI mean?
So glycemic index, it's low, meaning when it enters your bloodstream, it doesn't just shoot the energy into your body. It goes slowly, so it sustains you.
Right.
So you don't feel hungry and want to snack and all of that jazz. So it holds you until lunch. So once it's lunchtime, I mean, you can snack on like a banana or something, but you're not really going to be hungry. And then with that oatmeal, just to maybe add volume so that you can really be full, you can add yogurt, you can add fruit, you can add some protein powder in there. It just depends what you like. And then for lunch, it's the typical rice, chicken, maybe some fruit, veggies.
Rice, chicken.
Yeah, and some veggies.
What kind of rice? Brown rice?
Brown rice. I do white rice, but it's not like a everyday thing, and it shouldn't be. And let me add pap into that equation too, because pap is processed. It's white.
Yeah, so. Pap. I understand like I don't want to name the brand, but anyway.
Right, but you can eat like pap as your starch or carb source. People, like when they come to me, they'd be like, so Ruby, so should I cut out pap? Should I cut? And I'm like, no, it's like, you need carbs. That's your body's primary source of energy. You need carbs. You just need to eat for one person, not for three. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So, back to, lunch is the typical rice and chicken. Sometimes I can, maybe it can be beef but I like to stay away from beef because beef is a very fatty cut of protein. So the best thing to do is your chicken, and it's your breast, your white meat. And then, so dinner is your typical, sometimes I do pap or rice again. And then same thing, chicken, beef. Yeah, so it's really just about portion sizes and keeping your fat and your carbs low, depending on what your goal is.
What your goal is.
Yeah.
And then supper?
Supper? Oh, supper is the rice, the chicken. Like, it's very boring, guys.
Okay, so let's say I'm trying to cut.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you recommend, just generally?
So if you're trying to cut, you just need to be in a caloric deficit.
Calorie deficit?
Yeah.
Explain that. Like, break it down for people.
Okay, so a caloric deficit is you eating less calories than your body needs for maintenance. So when I say maintenance, that's just me sitting here and breathing needs calories.
For sure.
So most people need around, let's say maybe 2,000 calories. So if you're trying to shred and get your muscles to show and be toned, you're going to eat less than that 2,000. Mm-hmm. So you can get into a caloric deficit through two ways. It's either by eating less or by moving more, because movement burns calories. So ideally you want to do both, but you can also do one or the other.
How do you sustain energy then if in that calorie deficit? Like not feeling like you're depleted.
Fatigued.
Yeah.
So you have to be in a healthy caloric deficit. There's what you call a healthy caloric deficit. A lot of people, let me say women, because women are the culprits of this. Women like to go on these crazy diets where they go from eating 15 magwinya per week and portion sizes for 2 people, and then they say, oh, I have a wedding in 3 months. I'm not eating anything for 3 days, and then I'll eat the other days. That's not healthy. And that's just really bad. That's just not healthy. And you're going to, once the wedding comes and you're done with the wedding, you're going to go back to your old ways anyway. So being in a healthy caloric deficit. So if your maintenance calories are 2,000, you want to go to maybe 1.8, not 1.2, which is what most people do. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, no, that's very
Your body can, to answer your question, your body can sustain that, the 1.8.
What is the normal range that's needed by the body?
The normal?
Range, like just for you to be alive?
It depends
where
on...
you can't go below, where you know that this is now dangerous.
This is now death. It depends because...
I mean, what's the average that you gave as 2,000?
2,000, right. But then it depends on your age, your height, even like genetics can play. So it really depends. Mind you, there are people who are suffering from anorexia. They're literally skin and bones, but they function. They go to work. Like they cook, they take walks. So it just depends.
It depends who you are and what you do. I know, interesting. What about what about the opposite, bulking? Is increasing or
it's
what?
increasing, and also if your maintenance are 2,000, you're going to increase to maybe 2.2, 2.4. But you need to do that realistically and sustainably. You can't just go from 2,000 to 2.8 because what's going to happen is, especially if you are, when you're bulking, you definitely need to be training, because if you're just eating more in the name of, excuse me, in the name of bulking, all those calories are going to turn to fat as opposed to muscle mass. So, and then bulking also needs to have a lot of protein, not just carbs, because those carbs will turn to fat. Yeah.
Do you, it's also going around in social media, like the protein shakes and all that. Others are against them, and others are like, no, you can have protein shakes, you can have this. Others are like, you just have cooked food. What's your take on that?
Protein shakes. Protein shakes are supplements. So when you use them, they should be supplementing what you're already doing in the kitchen. I am for the all-natural approach, but as of late, I have been using protein shakes because for some reason, my appetite has been up and down, so which means I'm not hitting my caloric goals. So in that case, the protein shake is supplementing what I'm not able to do, right? I think the only thing I'm against is these meal replacement shakes. Yeah,
just have food.
Just have food.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We talked about mental health, your journey. I wanted to kind of get into some of the triggers that people experience, or some that you experienced, of mental and emotional fatigue, because I think there's something that is major. What are some of those that you experience in your own journey and that you experience through your clients and other people?
Triggers?
Yeah.
So triggers are tricky because they can be different for everyone, literally.
Yeah.
Like you wearing a brown jacket could be a trigger. So
yeah.
They can be different. So I can't really go too deep into triggers, but as I said earlier, taking inventory of those triggers. They're different for everyone.
Like, when do you know it's a trigger? When
When
start
do you
to
know
feel
it's a trigger? I think that also, with mental health varies in various ways with various people. So I think when you know that you've been triggered, I think the easiest signs are just irritability, being triggered, as we call it, or irritable during the day for no apparent reason, but there's always a reason in your mind, or that's been just festering. So, but to other people, it would be for no reason. Poor sleep quality, whether that be inability to sleep or sleeping too much. Another trigger I think that I could say is also in your eating. It could be not eating or eating too much. So you can see it's various. There was a time where when I would be stressed, I wouldn't eat. There was another season in my life where I would eat a lot. So same person, different times, different manifestations. So, yeah.
It's very interesting. And so for people right now, especially as we come to the conversation of career and also just developing, reigniting that love for your career, would you say it's important for you to, identify where you are on your mental health journey?
I would say so.
And then that's what leads to fulfillment at work and just in your career path.
You're saying, so your question is?
So my question is, would you, when somebody comes to you and says, I feel like I'm stuck, right? Because you're also helping corporate wellness. I feel like I'm stuck. I used to love this, but I don't love it anymore. Where do you start with them?
With that, I think I would just say everything starts from within. So if you are feeling that your outer is, usually when people say they're stuck, that means that they're not seeing the fruit that they would like to see in their life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but majority of the time when someone says they feel stuck, it means that they feel like they either don't know what to do next, or they are doing, but they're not reaping or seeing.
Or they've lost
the passion.
The passion.
Yeah.
It's just no longer, just all of a sudden, they just don't want to do it.
And that could be also a manifestation or a trigger, like a manifestation of being triggered or of being stressed, or even depression. Depression is an extreme example, but so I would say that if you feel like you are stuck in your career, or you're just not passionate about your career anymore, I would say kind of just step back a bit and try to focus a bit more on you as a person, your mental, your physical, your daily habits. And usually once you're able to get like a clearer mind, then you're able to see things a bit clearer. I hope that makes sense. So let's say you decide to go to therapy, or you decide to confide in a friend and really explain to them the issues that you feel like you are experiencing with your stuckness or within your career or your passion. That will usually help you to see things a bit clearer. And even just talking to people, whether it's a therapist or like a trusted friend, that really just, it allows you to release negative energy, and it allows you to see things for what they really are and to see things clearer. And a lot of the times when you go through, whether it's my program or any other program, you'll be able to see that like what you were looking for, it was literally right there It's just that you were looking through a foggy lens. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So I usually tell people that if you are having like negative manifestations, you really just need to come in, clean everything out, and then you'll be able to see things through a clearer lens.
And so you're a big advocate on rest.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about rest, stepping out and resting. When is it? What is that line between rest and laziness? Like when is it?
I love this question. Okay,
Yeah.
That's a good question. Rest and laziness. Rest is a necessity for productivity. Rest is a necessity. It's not a luxury. So you resting will make you more productive. Laziness is resting and still seeing that there's no productivity. So you really can just differentiate between the two based on the outcomes.
What you get.
Laziness isn't going to produce anything. Rest is going to produce a world of productivity.
So a lot of us talk about physical rest, which manifests also into mental and emotional and whatever. But how does somebody rest? I don't know if this is also within your scope of work. How does somebody rest emotionally? Yeah, like how do you? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I get you.
How do you rest emotionally and mentally?
And mentally. For the younger generation, I'd say that the number one way to rest emotionally and mentally is to unplug from your phones. Because once again, your brain is always taking in data. So when we're just scrolling, you think that it's just aimless scrolling. You're not even actually looking at pictures or reading captions. But your brain literally works at lightning speed. So it sees things, it hears things, and it picks up on things, and it perceives things. And it's stressful. I don't know if you've heard of the term overstimulated.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can literally stay at home, be on your phone all day, and at the end of that day,
You're tired. Yeah.
that was a lot. Today
Yeah,
drained
you're
me.
gassed, yeah.
But what did you do?
Nothing.
You were using mental energy
Yeah.
and emotional energy. So mental and emotional rest is really just, I would say, unplugging for sure. Unplugging. And I would also say just setting boundaries too, especially when it comes to the emotional rest, setting boundaries. Because if you don't set boundaries, you're always going to be overworking emotionally. You're always going to be trying to do more than you can emotionally. And then that'll eventually, the emotion will affect your thoughts. You'll start getting resentful, bitter, fatigued. Like it's a lot. So I would say unplugging and definitely setting boundaries. Yeah.
I think also maybe to add to that is like also decluttering, like the mind also, just I wouldn't know what to give an example, but I know in terms of just sitting down and decluttering what's in your mind, like putting your thoughts to paper so that you actually see them for what they are, I think would...
Like journaling.
Yeah, like journaling.
Yeah, that helps for
would
a lot of
definitely help
people,
with
yeah.
that. And so there's this, right? Are we supposed to feel good every day in terms of us gauging our health mentally and emotionally? Are we supposed to feel good every day? If so, if not, how do we then gauge our mental health? Especially when like you just woke up today and it's on the wrong side of the bed. Today you just don't feel it. But it's not like you slept late. Like, you've been showing up for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, in terms of, are we supposed to feel good every day? I believe so. But being that we're in a imperfect world, and that's pretty much impossible to feel good every day, because there's always going to be somebody at work who gets on your nerves. There's going to be...
I mean, even if it's not somebody at work, you just woke up and...
And you're just not feeling it?
Yeah, it's just not the day.
I think, because I've had plenty of times where I just wake up and I'm not feeling it. But with that comes the need to once again be taking inventory of your thoughts, because your energy and how you show up or don't show up, it starts in your mental. So if you are really thinking about your thoughts, which I like to do before I sleep.
What do you do? Like how?
So now that I'm in a healthier place, I like to think about my thoughts right before I fall asleep. So that time where I'm just in bed and it's just me, myself, and I like to think about the day, what I did, how it made me feel, and what I would like to fix for the next day. So when I'm thinking about the next day, I think about my routine, what I want to do. So that's also kind of setting boundaries too. Setting almost like a to-do list, right? So you wake up, you exercise, you eat, you shower, I like to structure my day like that, and I put it in my phone. And then that holds me accountable. And not only does it hold me accountable, when I go to sleep, it makes me excited to wake up the next day, because I know I have things that I need to do that are going to be me working towards my ultimate goal, whatever that may be. So, yeah, if you're waking up feeling like you're just not feeling it, majority of the time, that just means that you're not taking inventory of your thoughts. You're just kind of allowing your thoughts to just do what they do. And one thing I know for sure is, once again, denial will always lead to decay. If you just aren't putting energy into it, it will lead to decay. The same way, let me think of an example. Rust. Rust will happen whether you want it to or not. If you just leave metal out, especially near an ocean or wherever, and there's water in the air, which there is water in the air, rust is going to happen. Just by neglecting it, just by denying it, rust will happen. But now if you take that same piece of metal and you put like a protective layer over it, not only will the decay not happen, that piece of metal can actually it can
stand the test
of time.
For sure.
Right? Same piece of metal, same environment, but you have taken the time to put that coating, and the rest won't affect it.
Yeah, so essentially what you're saying is it's not automatic. You have to be intentional about it.
You have to be intentional about it.
So I want to circle back to rest.
Okay.
In the sense of, how do you deal with people or deal with clients that come to you who have a problem with having an off switch? You know, they're taking work home.
Yeah.
That, you know, it might not even just be work. It might be whatever, you know, but they don't know how to separate and segment their lives like that.
Yeah. So within my workshops, I like to have like a section where we talk about that, actually, where turning off is a must. And when you say turning off, you really mean phones, right? Phones, devices.
I mean, like, mentally.
Turning off from everything.
I leave work, but I'm still working mentally.
Right. You're still
I'm
buzzing.
still thinking about, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do
right.
that. By the time I'm home, I'm not even actually winding down.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And then in the morning I wake up and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Because my mind was, you know, I just passed out. I actually didn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I like to say is, when you are getting ready to fall asleep, there needs to be at least 40 minutes to an hour before the time that let's say you fell asleep at 9. So 8:15, you need to be getting ready for bed, and you need to, any distractions that you can think of, and it can be hard, especially if you have kids, partner, whatever, but you need to get rid of distractions. Your phone should be in the living room. It shouldn't be in the bedroom. Don't charge your phone and have the phone right next to, because once again, your mind has taken note that your phone is there. What's on your phone? Notifications, peer pressure. Let's go out to groove. Let's come back to the office. Let's work.
Money.
What's money? Well, your targets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your brain, guys, your brain is smart. I know that sounds not smart, but your brain is smart. Your brain is picking up on everything. Your phone should not be in the bedroom. Your phone should be in the living room. Lights off. Quiet. Some people, they like aromatherapy. Some people like white noise. Whatever you need. And once again, this is, for some people, it's a trial and error thing. Some things work for others. Some things don't work for other people. But you need to make it a habit, and you need to be consistent. Honestly, when it comes to shutting off your brain, you can't shut it off. But when it comes to slowing down your thoughts, you need to really be intentional about it, and you need to make a habit of it. Once you make a habit of it, eventually your brain will do it without you even asking it to. The same way your brain can stress and become depressed without you even wanting it to, your brain can slow down, not shut off, slow down. Once you make a habit of it, and once you make it understand that it can do it and it needs to do it. So, yeah.
Essentially, you're actually for an evening routine.
Basically, yes.
You just have a robust evening routine where you slow things down so that you prepare for the following day.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, what are your thoughts on meditation? Have you tried it?
Meditation. So there's meditation, there's prayer. It's different for different people. Essentially, it's the same thing, but meditation is great.
And now let's talk about your corporate work. What do you do with your clients when they want team building? What does this give us a picture of that? So
the team building is put into the holistic part of what I do, but it's not like team building. It's like put into. So with team building, we just do activities, fun activities, just to help build trust and to help build cooperation, to help build just camaraderie. Nothing crazy, just fun activities to help hit the points that when I get a briefing from the client, I'll ask them, what have they picked up, especially if it's HR that I'm speaking to. What have they picked up from their team that they feel like their team is lacking in? And then we hit those points. But with team building, it's usually just really fun, interactive, and nothing comprehensive necessarily.
It's activities. It's not physical, mental, emotional.
Team building is activities because we're working together. We're building a team. So with the other 3 areas I told you about, those are more working on the individual so that they can become a better team player, so that they can add to the organization in a positive way.
And so for an organization, what are the areas? Okay, you normally see you get briefings, right? An organization, I'm a CEO and I'm like, I think they lack motivation and they lack, teamwork. What would you do for us?
If it's motivation, I do like to bring in that like fitness aspect. So, but that would be over a period of time. That wouldn't just be like a workshop or anything.
Oh, it's not a workshop. It's classes. Or what is
Right,
it?
sessions.
Sessions,
Yeah. So the program would consist of sessions, and then there's the workshop, which would just be a once-off thing. So like within a day. But if it's motivation, I usually like to just bring in the fitness aspect of things over a period of time, because that usually really does help teams just kind of like shock the system a bit. If you do the same thing for a long period of time, every day, you tend to lose motivation and kind of maybe get burned out. You lose inspiration, you lose the passion. But then if you have something else to look forward to, that usually does help. And not only that, just by virtue of being more active, like physically active, there's all the good chemicals that happen in your brain. Like you can literally go from 0 to 100, and you might even be tricked that, oh, I love this job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
I get
fitness
that.
aspects help.
You said burnout.
Yeah.
And I think there's also something that is very key to the conversation we're having right now. Can you get burned out without knowing that you're getting burned out?
Some people burnout manifests as them not even wanting to do anything. Some people are able to be functional. So there's what you call a functioning depressed person. So they're depressed, but they're functioning. They're smiling in your face. They're even overachieving and hitting targets and goals, but they're depressed.
How does that happen though?
It's the way mental health manifests, like it's different for everyone, literally. Like and that's what makes it shocking when people, just to go to the extreme end of the spectrum, when people commit suicide. Because a lot of the time, the people who commit suicide, the friends and family will say, he was happy. She was always smiling. They were just functional. Other people, you will see.
But that's what's scary though,
yeah.
like functional people. Because it's okay if you're not functional.
Right.
Then everybody can identify that there's a problem here.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It being, can I not know that I'm actually burnt out, but I'm doing everything day to day?
It's possible, but most people will know that something is off. They may not know to the degree. That's why I always say you need to be keeping inventory of your thoughts and emotions and really like scanning yourself.
So it has to be something I identify, not somebody external. Like
No, because
right
it's
now,
not
if
always.
I go to, I don't know, maybe a doctor,
Yeah.
and then I feel like I'm okay, and then he's like, "No, man, you're depressed." There is that way when you label it, it becomes truth
Right.
because you just put it there, and then there is, because I would be surprised. I'm like, depressed? How? I'm okay. I've been functioning. Be like, no, but these show that, you're not well.
Right. So you're asking what are the things that show that you are unwell?
Yeah, is it that, or is it where I identify? I'm like, I've been doing work and I've been pushing. I've been doing okay, but I feel like something is off.
Okay, so with a therapist will ask you questions so that you can identify things, so that she can now tell you that you may be depressed or that you may be burned out. So yeah, maybe a lot of the symptoms to you may just appear as, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just tired. I'm just extremely hungry. I'm just craving this. So honestly, it really depends. I wish I could answer your question like pinpoint, but it really just depends. And once again, that's a scary thing. It depends. It varies from person to person. But I mean, yeah. So those manifestations of fatigue for sure, I can tell you. Like, and I mean serious fatigue. Like, you go to sleep, you wake up tired. You slept 9 hours, but you wake up tired. That is a telltale sign of burnout.
Right.
I can say for sure when I experienced burnout, fatigue was always the number one thing, to where my body is like, even just getting up, it's a lot. Even just trying to think, like your thoughts are just scattered, or your brain is a bit foggy. You can't really pinpoint a thought. Those are signs of burnout for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this episode. We really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Deep Dive is dedicated to bringing you the most comprehensive and engaging information about business, personal finance, and personal development. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all our latest content. If you like this video, give it a like to show your support and help us reach a wider audience. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family who may be interested. Sharing helps us grow our community and connect with like-minded individuals. Leave a comment below and give us your biggest takeaway on this episode. If you're interested in being a part of our live studio audiences, make sure to register for the next show. Can't make it to the show? No problem. Check out our Patreon page to watch the full episode and get exclusive access to more great content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Deep Dive.